Once again, we are dredging up a creepy tale from my home state of Michigan. This one comes to us from an out-of-the-way place near the town of Rockford in Algoma Township, which lies on the western side of the state. Spoiler alert, this just may be the most frightening Michigan-based creepy tale that I have ever encountered. Sometime in the mid to late 1800s, there was a series of disappearances involving young children. Fearful that some harm may have come to them, the townsfolk decided to form a search party to head out into the woods to go and look for them. However, the adults were concerned about leaving their remaining children at home unattended, so they elected to leave them in the care of a kind older gentleman in the town named Elias Frisk. While the search party was out in the woods, Mr. Frisk decided to take the 7 children outside to play, tying a length of rope to each child so they wouldn't wander off. As they went about their little outdoor adventure, the children started to smell a rather unpleasant odor. After convincing Mr. Frisk, the children followed the odd smell through the woods until they reached a stone footbridge over the Rogue River. The stench was nearly overpowering, and the children couldn't pinpoint where it was coming from. That was until Mr. Frisk walked over to a pile of leaves and tree branches and pushed it aside. To the children's horror, Mr. Frisk happily revealed to them the bodies of the other missing children. It would be the very last thing they would ever see. Sometime later, the search party returned home to discover that the 7 children and Mr. Frisk were nowhere to be found. Frantically, the adults went back out to the woods to find them. The group searched along the river for hours until they made a tragic discovery: the bodies of the 7 missing children floating in the river. After the initial shock, grief, and anger, the search party discovered a blood trail and proceeded to follow it back to the stone footbridge. Upon their arrival back at the bridge, the search party also discovered Mr. Frisk, covered in blood, and clutching the rope that he had used to tie the children together, babbling about how the devil told him to do it. Enraged, the search party seized Frisk and dragged him to the bridge. Using the rope that bound their helpless children, the search party tied a noose, put it around Frisk's neck, and hanged him from the bridge. After his feet stopped twitching, the search party eventually went home and left Frisk's lifeless corpse hanging from the bridge, where it is said that sometime later, the water level of the river rose high enough to immerse him. At that point, the rope broke free, and Frisk's body was carried downriver, never to be seen again. As the years went by, the stone footbridge would be obliterated by time and the elements, necessitating the construction of a floating metal bridge which exists today as the only means of traversing the river. According to legend, whatever evil presence that forced Elias Frisk to murder the children still lurks in the forest at the site of the bridge, referred to by locals as Hell's Bridge. Quite terrifying, right? Sounds like something out of the Blair Witch mythos or one of those Conjuring movies. Like I said when we started, the story of Hell's Bridge is probably the most frightening Michigan-based creepy tale that I have ever researched. However, just like the legends of the Bunny Man, the Nain Rouge, and the Melonheads that I had covered previously, when you start looking into the truth behind the urban legend, it starts to crumble like a delicious Red Lobster cheddar biscuit. Now, according to the legend, the murders of the children occurred somewhere around the late 1800s. However, according to census records from the time period, there was no such man named Elias Frisk who lived in the Algoma Township area. In fact, there would be no one named Frisk living in the area until the family of the same name moved there sometime in the 1910s, and not one of them would be named Elias. Plus, there is no surviving records from that time that support the assertion that the murders even happened at all. Add all those facts together, and it sounds like that we just trod upon a load of bullshit. But that doesn't explain away the numerous reports of all the creepy things that have a tendency to transpire around Hell's Bridge. Over the years, visitors to the site have reported instances of paranormal activity. Tubers traveling along the river have claimed to have witnessed ghostly hands reaching up from below and trying to pull them under. Folks on the bridge have sometimes spotted what looked like children's bodies floating along the riverbank only to vanish soon after, and even ghostly figures under the water that look like children. At night, things get even more frightening. Witnesses have reported walking on the bridge and suddenly feeling the bridge shake all on its own with no explanation. Witnesses also recount hearing the sounds of children's laughter and screams near the bridge site, as well as a demonic laugh that is supposedly that of the evil presence that forced Elias Frisk to murder the children in the legend. Perhaps the most frightening sighting is that of two glowing red eyes that seem to materialize near the midway point of the bridge and glare at anyone standing on shore. Now, this isn't just one or two incidents we're talking about. This is literally hundreds, maybe thousands of witness accounts that cannot be explained nor disproven with any degree of certainty. So what are we to take away from the story of Hell's Bridge? Is it merely an urban legend? Or maybe a lost piece of history that will never be confirmed due to incomplete records from the past? Are the hundreds of eyewitness accounts of the strange happenings in the area merely lies, products of the imagination, or just maybe proof of the existence of something beyond belief? Like I said way back when during the haunting of Al Capone and the legend of Nain Rouge, it all comes down to what you choose to believe. As for me, let's just say I am nowhere near brave enough to venture out to Hell's Bridge in the middle of the night to find out. No friggin' way. If you like this video, please show your support by dropping a comment below, hitting the like button, and sharing it with your friends. If you're curious about my future content and want to hear more creepy tales, then please subscribe to my channel and hit the little bell icon so you'll be notified when I upload something new. Until next time, have a lovely day, stay safe out there, and most importantly,
stay creepy.